to another episode of Life Changers, and this is Mike. You won't believe what happened. That's the title of this episode. But before we get into that, I'm recording in our updated studio. So it's really nice. We have, it's really cool. We set up a real podcast studio. So if anybody lives in and around the Owen Sound, Ontario area, we do have the studio up for rent where people can rent it and we can help them work their podcasts. We can teach you how to use the equipment. You can rent our studio and we will work with you one-on-one to help you achieve your goals with your podcast as well. So if that's something that interests you, just send us an email at lifechangersmike@gmail.com. That is lifechangersmike@gmail.com. And then we can set up studio time, let you know the pricing, and so on. So I digress. You will not believe what happened. So as most of you know, I was in Florida for a few weeks. Now we're back. I'm in the new studio in one of our warehouses. And yeah, we redesigned it. We set it up. I got a cool Himalayan salt lamp. I got this nice little lamp here. Yeah, got nice chairs, nice studio. Stuff like that. It's fun. Things are moving along. But the reason why I titled this, you will not guess what happened, or you got to know what happened or whatever, is I've been gone for like at least 5 weeks from the company. And like I had mentioned in some other episodes, we had amazing friends step up to the plate and help us out. And now one of them turned into a part-time employee. So yeah, welcome to the team. But I digress. So in using the law of attraction, okay, we literally, like we mentioned in other episodes, 1 week my wife and I were like, yeah, we got to go. Let's let's see if we can get people to go. So we ended up going to Florida. We disconnected from our company, okay? And what happened when we disconnected and we just left it in the hands of our friends? Well, a bunch of things happened in the law of attraction universe. We stopped chasing more customers. We stopped putting in our energy and we need more of this, we need this, stuff like that. Like that's part of the chasing. So we stopped chasing new customers. We stopped chasing, hey, we need more sales. We need more of this. We need more of that, right? And then what do you think happened? You guessed it. It started getting busier and stuff like that. Because, I'm not saying, we're putting negative energy into our company, but we're just chasing and chasing. And we're like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to work anymore. Like, I want to run the company. I don't want to work the day to day. Okay. My wife and I need to run our companies and manage them and let it naturally grow and do its thing. Well, we can focus on, more of the back end stuff, working with the web developers or working on the product lines and so on and so forth. And, and we're working on a bunch of other projects that we need to launch and stuff like that. But yeah, it's amazing how when you literally give up, disconnect, how things will work. Because we're always programmed like you need to go, oh no, I need to work hard. I need to have all these failures. I need to have this. I need to have that. No, it doesn't work like that at all. You don't need any of those. If you literally trust the universe and just trust your gut, your higher self, the still small voice, trust God, anything that you want to call it, okay? I know I mentioned that a lot, but I can't stress enough, right? I don't care what you want to call it. Just trust it, okay? Let it flow. Let the energy come to you and flow. And do as you feel guided, okay? Do as you feel like, oh, I need to do this. Because a lot of things I've learned, right, is the first thing that comes your way, the first, boop, we need to do this. That's inspiration coming to you from your higher self, from the universe, from whatever. And if you listen to that still small voice or that little gut feeling or, that little motivation, then boom, you'll achieve all sorts of amazing things. And if you do it right away, that's always the perfect thing, right? I don't know how to explain it, but like every time I'm looking for stuff or doing this or doing that, the first thing that comes our way is always the best. Like I mentioned in other episodes, right? we were like, oh, hey, we should buy a trailer. And then we were searching and, trying to find the perfect trailer, blah. And we just give up, let it go. And then I was just driving one day, boom, there's the perfect trailer. So we bought it. I didn't even have a truck. Then we were like, we need a truck. And we were like, put in the universe, we need. So what happens every time you put need? You get lack. Okay? You're showing the universe that, oh, no, there's lack. And that's what you're attracting is lack. Lack thereof. I can't stress it enough. I use it in my everyday life. And then I'm like, well, I give up on trying to find this truck. Whatever. The perfect truck will come for me. Not even 5 minutes later, boom, boom. Facebook's like, hey, we noticed you were looking for a truck here. There's a truck that just got posted in your area. And I was like, boom, went there. Got there within 3 minutes of talking to the guy. I bought it on the spot. Just trust. Right? Same thing with our trailer park, right? We're like, oh, we need to find a trailer park for full-time living. Well, we sold our house, and we're like, oh, And we, the first option, like the first place that was introduced to us was actually introduced to us the year before. And then we're like, oh, we should check out that place. Oh, yeah. And then we researched all these other places. I spent days researching and traveling to all these different places. But it's always the first one that came across to us. Like, it's not like we were looking, right? It happened to be a family reunion, and that's the spot they rented out, was a bunch of cabins at this RV resort. And then we're like, oh, that's cool. We never heard of full-time living in RVs and blah, blah, blah. And then a year later, boom, we're moving in. We sold our house, and we're going to travel Florida 6 months and Canada. So I go to the U.S. and Canada, back and forth. Right? Just trust it. I cannot say it enough, right? Same with my stock picks. Oh, boy. Sorry about that. I forgot to mute my phone. I'm so excited to use the new studio, forgetting to do things. Sorry. I don't know if you guys heard my phone notification. Put that on silent. There we go. But see what happens when you record in one shot. No editing. But I forgot where I was. Oh, well. I guess I didn't need to talk about that. But yeah, it's just amazing to me how when you let go, give up, trust, and just go with the flow and surrender, how all these doors and opportunity are opening and coming your way. I mentioned the stocks. Yes, like my stock picks, right? I know nothing about stocks. And one day I was just like, I should research stocks. And then this is the word I should type in when I research it. And I was just trusting my gut, trusting the flow, trusting things, trusting my higher self. And I picked these stocks that did amazing, right? But I didn't listen. Well, I should have sold at the peak because I would have done pretty well. Because I bought them at an average of 20 cents. And it made it up to $5.38. So that was pretty good. And I was like, oh, then greed set in, right? So you always got to have a balance. You have to have trust and that balance of trusting the universe, trusting the flow of things, and no greed. You just can't have greed when you're doing things. Because as soon as greed sets in, then you're blinded and then you're just going to do whatever. Because that's exactly what happened. And I ended up going down to like $3, $2, and I ended up selling. And, because greed was setting, I was like, oh, it's going to hit $100. Oh, right? So now we're back to our work. And then I was like, and while I was on vacation, I recommend you need vacation. If you're like, oh, I should just not go on vacation, whatever. Trust me, going on vacation, taking care of you is a priority because it did so well for us. Like when we went on vacation, I was able to relax and then just after not going on vacation for a few years and just enjoy like being with my family and stuff, but also just getting more clear, right, with the universe and stuff. And then I was like, hey, I need to fix this studio. So boom, 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 fixed it up. And then I was like, oh, I feel like I should rent it out. So as we mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, I was like, hey, we're going to help people because I want to help people. And I already had somebody reach out to me from Alberta, and I'm like, hey, you could be my guinea pig. Because like a lot of people want to start podcasts or sing or do comedy shows or even radio shows, and people don't know where to start. So I was like, I can help people do this. So yeah, if anybody wants information, trust me. Like, reach out. I'm putting together a list of links, and yeah, I'm gonna tell you they're affiliate links that I'm gonna send you of stuff that I've bought and that I trust and I use. And this is like budget, and then work your way up to like the more expensive equipment, right? So if you just want to start, prove the concept, I'll give you the budget stuff, right? You need a microphone, you need headphones, you need this device I'm recording on, and the programs and the RS feed hosts and all that. And yeah, I'm going to send affiliate links because I'll send you all that information for free. If we're not working one-on-one, you just like want the information, I'll send you the information. And then yeah, when you sign up, it doesn't cost you anymore. A lot of them, the RSS feed is free. Then you can go to premium mode. And then if you buy the equipment through the links I send you, then hey, I make a little bit of money. And that'll help support the show because I'm self-financed. I'm financing the show myself. I'm sponsoring myself. I'm using my companies to sponsor the shows. I digress. But and then like I saw the opportunity of like, oh, I could rent out the space to people that want to record and don't want to have the expensive building a recording studio, a sound studio, and all that. So I invested in that, right? I put new carpets in, and all I smell is like that rubber that on new carpets. Ugh. And like we were airing it out by opening all the doors and everything, but then big flies and bees were coming in, flying around the studio. I was like, nope, I'm not leaving these doors open because I'm not going to be recording an episode and be like, oh, poof, and start swatting flies and bees and stuff like that. And they're buzzing around my head, and you hear them. Bzz, bzz. So yeah, I chased them out, chased them out the door, closed all the doors real fast. But yeah, hopefully it airs out because the new carpet smell. Blech. I digress. And yeah, so I'm just going with the flow, and I'm going to trust. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done controlling. And you should do the same thing. Stop trying to control the outcome, okay, of life. Just enjoy it. See where it takes you. Have the flow, the energy of positivity flowing through you. And most of all, you have to have the energy of understanding, compassion, and stuff like that. Because, I'm just sitting around. Things literally don't matter to me as much as things used to. You know how you always got worked up for those stupidest things? You're like, oh, why did I get worked up for that? I don't know. Right? Like, I'm watching TV, okay? I'm watching Big Brother Canada. It's going to do its last episode this coming week. But anyways, I'm just watching it because it's cool. I like seeing the, as they say, oh, it's a Canada, big social experiment. All these people in a house cut off from the world. But there's a few things I notice. When they are doing Big Brother Canada or Big Brother in general and anywhere in the world, that's their world. They don't know what's going on. They put pause on quote unquote the real world out there. Because what is real? Well, like we mentioned many times before, whatever you perceive in your reality is real. Nothing else is real to you. And I digress. But it's true, right? They're focused 100% on that game, Big Brother. The outside world does not exist. And there's a lot. They're living there 24 hours for like a month or whatever it is, or 2 months, right? We only see a little bit every week. But that's their whole life. They give up their reality as they know it, and that is now their reality 100%, where that game is real. And it's fun to watch it's fun to watch the dynamics, right? How at least what we see, right? One week they're like enemies, next week they're friends, and then they're backstab, and then in the end they're all are like, hey, when we get out into the real world, we're gonna. So you can see there's a disconnect, right? They're like, yeah, this is fake, this is real, but this is real to us right now. But when we go out into the world, or the real world as they call it many times, we'll be friends forever. But in this game, I'm voting you out because you're pissing me off. And they separate, right, the realities because they know, right, that they're on a game. But I watch these shows, and a lot of things that going on in these different shows and realities in the show like seem like big issues, but in reality it means nothing in the scheme of things. Like, I don't know, like there's commercials, right, when you're watching that kind of TV, and then a commercial for like Desperate Housewives or Love Island and all these stupid reality shows. And I just find like they're not interesting to me because like they're dramatizing nothing. People are like, "Oh no," right? I saw you talking to that girl. You should focus on me when we're going out. Like, stop. I'm telling you, everybody that's listening right now, just stop trying to find a way to be a victim. The victim mentality that we're programmed, stop that. Put barriers. You are not a victim, okay? You are in control of everything. Everything in your reality. 100%. I can't reiterate that enough. That you are in control of your reality, your destiny, your beliefs. You're in control of what pisses you off, what makes you happy. You're in control to how to react and all that. And are you going to take control or are you going to give up control? Because you do not realize, okay? I'm reading this new book, and I know I mentioned it before. It's called like something about like being okay to. I'll just pull it up on on Audible. It's called The Courage to be Disliked. Okay, I'm on chapter 23, but like the first few episodes, and it's I mentioned it before, but I'm on chapter 32. 32, yeah, 32. But the first few episodes, chapters, because I listen to it on Audible. Okay, I don't read. I listen when I'm working and biking and driving. But the book is pretty much like um, a teacher and a student, and they're just having conversations and theories and stuff in a nutshell. But if there's something you don't want to do, you'll find a reason not to do it subconsciously or consciously, right? So you'd be like, oh, I don't like that person because that person's horrible or that. Just because in your reality, you're like, I don't want to, be around that person. So you'll find ways to, not be around that person. Or if you don't want to go to work over the weekend, you'll be stressed out. You'll subconsciously make up excuses not to go to work or do things. And you do it on purpose, but without knowing. It's hard to explain. I don't know. I got to listen to that book better so I can better and do my research on it, and then I could better talk to you about it. But I digress. You are in 100% control of everything, okay? So I know, like, TV, when we're watching TV, like, I can't watch TV anymore. I watch, like, certain things, and I disconnect from it. I'm like, I know, this is not reality. This is it. But everything that is in our view is to program us to be victims, to be drama. And I mentioned it before, okay? I can't reiterate it enough, though. So everything we do, listen and watch on TV, even the commercials are programmed for a certain way. Everything's programmed to make us victims or to make us sound like, dramatize everything and be pissed off. Why do you think everybody, like, all of a sudden it seems like, wow, there's a lot more, quote unquote, Karens in the world, right? Or there's a lot more pissed off people, angry people doing stupid things. I see all these, like, things on the news popping up. Oh, this person got really angry and drove his car into this business. And everybody's just like, oh, me, right? And, everybody's crying about, self-checkout. Like, oh, self-checkout. Like, I have to do all the work, so they're not paying me, so I'm not going to pay for stuff and whatnot. Because that's their way of paying me for doing their job. They're just big corporation. Yeah, who cares, right? If you don't like doing self-checkout, then don't go to self-checkout. Go to another business that has no self-checkout. Stop being like, oh, I'm the victim. I'm me, poor me, poor me. Because if that's the way you think, that's what you can attract. You have to understand. If you are a negative person by nature, you're going to be negative. If you're like, oh, that's why I don't like giving myself labels. Like, I'm happy that my school did not know what dyslexia was or all this stuff, that learning disabilities, okay? Because they would have labeled me, and back then I would have absorbed that label and be like, oh, that's the reason why I can't focus, or that's the reason why I can't read, or that's the reason why I can't spell. I give myself excuses. And then I'll become the person that they tell me that that's why you have that. It's, or if I'm like, it's genetics. My dad has this, so I'm going to have it genetics. Believe me or not, I don't care. But this is my reality, and this is what's true to me, and this is what works for me. And I see it over and over and over and over and over and over and talking to a lot of different people. And we're going to be bringing in more and more people to interview. And as I said before, we're going to be going to Sideburn, which is a festival coming up in a couple weeks. I'm going to be interviewing a bunch of people there. So you don't have to just listen to me anymore. It's going to be more interactive. It'll be great. And then more and more people that want to come on the show, we can do interviews over the phone, hook up into the system, so on and so forth. So we're going to get there to where we're going to be interviewing people more often than not. And it'll be a lot better than just hearing me rant, I guess. But if you like my rants, hey, please let me know. It's good to hear from everybody. But yeah, if you are like, well, I have this problem. Like, I have a learning disability. That's why I can't learn anything. Well, you are limiting yourself. Okay? There's a lot of people that get diagnosed with certain things, and there's two types of people. There's the people that go, oh, that's what it is, and use it as a crutch, use it as an excuse to not do things. Like, I've done it. I do it. I still do it. Like my kid's like, hey, you wanna read this book with me? And I'm like, I don't know how to read. I got dyslexia, right? But no, I use it as a crutch. I use it because I don't want to do something. And you're doing it too, either consciously or subconsciously. The other type of people are going to be like, oh, that's cool. Well, I don't accept it. And they conquer it. And they become all you can be. Just like the beginning of my podcast, the beginning of my first episodes, people were telling me how stupid I was. People were telling me you're not going to achieve anything, that you're just going to be the working class. My dad, I'm not saying, they're just doing what they're told, right? They're taught the education system that I went to, right? And my dad subconsciously would program us, because that's the way he was programmed, without even realizing it, from whatever, right, is poor people stay poor, rich get rich. And I was talking to my sister the other day, and I'm like, our dad subconsciously programmed us, because he would always tell us how poor we are and how we stay poor and how only the rich get rich, and blah, 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 blah. So I said, if no matter what you do, you have to break one thing in order if you want to be successful and achieve all that you want. And the first thing I did when I broke was Breaking the Habit of Being Myself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'll add a link in the description if you want to click on it. It's the best book in the world. It teaches you how to overcome you, how to get rid of all the stigmas and all the programming you have that's limiting you from achieving everything you want. That's subconsciously or consciously. I saw it. I was like, yeah, that is true. And I saw it. And now that I have the information I have, and I'm at a certain level, and I'm really just flowing with the universe and trying just to let go of control and all that stuff, I see yeah, I made a lot of money in my companies when I was younger, but I never had money. Why? Because I attracted people or attracted things subconsciously, and I made decisions that burned all the money. That's why it all disappeared and it's gone, right? I just can't reiterate. It's crazy. I could be sitting here offering, I'm sitting here offering you limitless potential, limitless money, limitless anything you want. And there's going to be the two types of people, right? The ones that are going to take it to heart and be like, yeah, I'm going to do my research. I'm going to try my experiment. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. And I'm not going to let things that don't matter take control of my world. Okay? I'm not trying to give you conspiracy by going, oh, hey, all big companies are trying to control you. Okay? Most people know it's a fact these days. Right? But it's how you perceive. Are you going to accept what you are taught and told, either consciously or subconsciously, by your everyday interactions in the world? Are you? Or are you going to live your life, be happy, and choose what your reality is, and choose things? I don't want to get into a debate about all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world. Everybody has their own reality to create, and we're all co-creators. So if we're focused, if there's something you don't like in the world, and you focus on it and tweet about it, or vlog about it, or make TikToks about it, so on and so forth, you're helping to create that to stick around longer, because we're co-creators. Just a fun fact. You know what? I'm going to get into co-creating. We got another half an hour here of the podcast. So yeah, believe it or not, as you are creator of your universe and your reality, and you're like, oh, well, Mike, you're telling me there's other people that create things too? Yes. Everybody in the world is creators, subconsciously and consciously. It's up to those to wake up. Wake up and see that you are in control. Don't give up your control to anybody. Don't give up your control to the TV, to the government, or to whatever, right? Be like, well, I have to do what I have to do because the government tells me. I have to do this because that's what people tell me. I have to do this. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Okay, you do you, and as long as it's not hurting nobody, and you're not forcing all like people that don't want to listen to you down their throat. And as most of you know, I was in religion growing up. And when I would go around talking to people, I would never go around and be like, "Hey, you're going to hell. You're a bad person. Blah blah blah," right? Because that's not how it should be. It's everybody should love everybody. And I'm like, wow, whatever. I'm not going to tell people they're doing stuff wrong because it doesn't affect them in their reality. And I just put out in the universe, without realizing back then, would be like, hey, I'll attract people that want to come and talk to me. I want questions answered and that I might have answers too. And then when I had those conversations with people, I'd just be like, hey, do you believe in God? And I would talk to them about it and tell them my beliefs because that was my reality. And to this day, people still want to come and have discussion. Like, I'm not against religion. If it works for you, it works for you. But I was at a point where I needed to go deeper or higher, or I still felt like I was limited in the religion that I was in. And since I got out, things have been crazy good for me. But don't get me wrong. I went where the universe and my higher self, that still small voice, was guiding me. I didn't just be like, yeah, I'm done, peace out. I just followed the flow of the universe and started giving up control to the universe and to my higher self, to God, to Mother Earth, whatever you want to call it, okay? You can call it anything you want, but in the end, it's just the same energy that we are all working towards. It doesn't matter if you believe that you need Himalayan salt in your house, or you need this or that, or crystals and stuff that will help you to achieve everything and achieve enlightenment. It will work for you if that's the energy you're putting towards it, because then that's the energy and the reality you're creating. That's what you'll get. But yes, if you focus on what other people are creating in their reality, and they're screaming and shouting at the top of their lung and forcing it down your throat, and then if you interact with them and give them fire, because they're just going to shut down. We all do it. When we're arguing with people, I try to be as open and calm and relaxed as possible. And it's funny how a lot of people tell you how you're feeling or tell you what you're doing, and you're like, honestly, I'm really not. The old me might have been that way. But no, I'm just really trying to understand and ask you questions. And then it pisses me off, then I switch to the old way, and I'm like, I'm the big victim, right? And the person I'm arguing with is now the other victim, and then they're just throwing back, and we're just projecting on each other all our negativity, and that's all there is to it. That's what an argument is, okay? An argument is both people, both parties in that argument are both projecting their issues onto each other. So remember, if you're in an argument, you lost control, and you're spewing out all this stuff, well, just remember, all that stuff you're spewing out is things about you that piss you off. Think about it. Trust me. But if you focus on other people's creations and how pissed off it makes you and how this or that or whatever, well, then you're just going to help them create it more and more. And now you're attracting that into your reality. Now you're going to see more of that, right? If you're the type of person where you are like, oh, man, quote unquote crazy Karens in the world, they're everywhere, and the more you think about it, the more you focus on it, the more you're going to get it. Just like in the algorithm, when you're on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or whatever, or you're watching, you start seeing those ones, and you're like, oh, and you watch it for the whole time, or you give it a like, or you just watch it or whatever, and you comment, it's going to show you more like that. So before you know it, you're attracting all that information. So if you're ever watching on why is it always recommending this stuff, all this negative stuff to me, is because that's the stuff you've been watching and interacting with. So that's what you're creating. That's what the algorithm's like, hey, this is what they want, and they give it to you. Think about it that way. If you do not have a grasp or understand what I'm talking about when I talk about the law of attraction and the energies, it's literally just like the AI in your computer that's watching your every move because it wants to give you what you like. You can think about it that way if you like. Think about it that you are the user, the world is the AI, and it's just trying to give you the things you're looking for and want to see the most. So if you're watching stuff about, Karens or people being crazy and stupid, that's what you're going to see. If you're going to start looking up a lot of law of attraction stuff, that's all you're going to get is a lot of that. And the more you research it, the more you look at it, the more you're going to get. So if you listen to my podcast, you probably get a lot of that stuff. You get a lot of suggestions like, hey, you might like this guy, because we talk about similar things. And that's how it works. But so you're telling me, Mike, that if I focus on something that I don't like, I'm going to get it more often? Just like when I watch it and I'm like, oh, this really pisses me off, and I share it with my friends and I'm sharing with everybody, and I'm like, I'm going to write that this pisses me off. Yes, you're going to get more of that algorithm in your face. That's another way to look at it. It's funny because some people are like, that I talk to, they're like, so I want to look at it that I am the creator. I'm the one in charge of my universe, right? I'm like, okay, yes. And everybody else is an NPC. You could, until you bring them in as a main character. You could think of it that way if you'd like, but don't let it get too unhealthy. But yeah, it's like the way I talk about, in that last episode, what is your movie? What are you creating in a movie? And then you're bringing in the different actors and their background actors, and then you're bringing them into your reality, and now they're, roles and so on and so forth. It's all different ways to think of the same objective. Is whatever you focus on, whatever positivity or negative stuff you're focused on the most, and you're thinking like, oh, I don't want this to happen, but chances are that's going to happen because that always happens to me. All the negative stuff happens to me. All this happens to me, right? Well, that's what you're going to get. Because that's what the algorithm is going to be like, oh, hey, that's what they want. Okay, here you go. If you don't believe me, look, relax, take a deep breath in through the nose. And when you think you get to the top, just take that little extra and out through the mouth. And now relax. And look at all the different things coming your way. And see how you created that. Because I want to see everybody have the same experiences I have, where I was like, holy crap, that's amazing. I did that. I created that. And it came true. It came my way. Or I felt this in my heart, and so I just did it. And then now this, right? Just let it flow. Let it happen. Everybody that's listening and everybody that's not listening, that maybe one day will listen. You are all amazing people. Everybody's amazing in their own way. Yes, everybody's going to have their bad days where they're going to be pissed off, angry, and somebody might record them on their bad day being quote-unquote Karen, or I don't know if that's the same thing for guys if we're Karens. But anyway, quote-unquote, pissed off, angry people, and somebody's going to record that and ruin your life because that, you just were pissed off. But sometimes people just get pissed off for the stupidest things. And I understand why. It's all the crap that we're watching and we're getting programmed and we're accepting that program. Think about it that you are a computer system and everything you see, you're downloading information. We are, if you want to think about it, you are AI, right? But you're not artificial. You're intelligent. So you're I. We are intelligence. We absorb, we calculate, and we either eject it, put it in the garbage, or we go, yep, that's part of my belief system. That's my reality. I'm going to keep it and then to, focus on what the direction I'm going. You do you, right? You find the validation you need, go with it. But just try not to be an angry, pissed off person and thinking that you're the only one with issues in the world, because everybody has issues. Everybody has their things. Just let go. Okay, everybody take another deep breath through your nose. In. And when you think you just can't take it anymore, take that little bit and hold it, and out through the mouth. Let's all be calm, collective people, loving people. I understand people have their bad days. I have bad days. Let's not create more negativity in the world by going, oh, and it's hard. I understand. It really is hard. Even for me. I see it. Sometimes, like, even looking back, it's like, oh, when something crazy happened, you're like, oh, guess what? So-and-so did, right? And you start talking and telling everybody because if it made you feel validated or made you feel like important because you know information and you're telling everybody, and, right? I saw somebody do this at school, or I saw the teacher do this, or I saw that, right? Or you would never guess, right? I probably say right a lot. I notice when I'm in Florida, I say a lot because I'm Canadian. A, anyways. But yeah, I want everybody to find out your destiny. Okay, we're gonna switch tempos. I'm done harping on negative and trying to talk. I'm just going with the flow here. We're gonna switch this around. But yeah, everybody in the world is co-creating this world and what we see. So if you want more positivity, put more positivity out there. That's all I'll say about that. And now we're going to move on. I want to help everybody that's listening, and everybody that's not listening will eventually listen. But I want you to find out what your part in this whole play we're putting on, let's say. Let's call it a play or a movie or whatever in this whole world. We're all here for a reason. Find out what your reason is. Find out what your true destiny is. Because we're going to be interviewing somebody shortly. I guess for me it'll be in tomorrow, but by the time we post it, it'll be probably a couple of weeks. But probably the next episode you're going to hear after this one will be that interview. And we're going to interview this individual. We'll keep it a secret until we get there. But and how he found his destiny or his calling. And it wasn't what he was expecting. Ooh. Even me. I was not expecting that I'll be running a podcast in 2023 about, love, compassion, changing your life for the better, motivational. I never thought I'd be a motivation, I wanted to be a motivational speaker, so I can't say I never thought. But I never thought I would be a life coach or a mind coach and helping people out in that sense. And opening up studio and opening up different things where I can go meet people and work all over and help people, because it's hard to explain, but I just see things and understand things. And when I'm talking to somebody, I receive, I don't know, call it inspiration, call it a vision, I don't know, but I just receive information, and then I can help that person. I don't understand it, but I'm just equating it or contributing it to just the flow of the universe, how every possibility in the universe is out there, and all the information's out there, and you just got to tap into it and be like, oh yeah, and be receptive to it. And I'm open. You truly have to be open to new information, to new things coming your way. Because if I was not open, my business would have got belly up. It's constantly evolving, constantly adapting. You have to roll with it. You have to flow with it. You have to trust it. Just because today it's one way, tomorrow it might be a different way. You just got to trust the flow of the universe. Trust everything that's coming with information your way, and just do it. I just did it. I just built a studio. I just started buying everything, putting it all up, buying everything, doing it. And yeah, I understand I'm in a situation where I can just do that, and there is no hopefully if it works. It is going to work because that's the energy I'm putting out there. That I know the studio is going to be effective and I'm going to be able to help people. And I don't care if it's people that want to make podcasts similar to mine or people that are making podcasts polar opposite of mine. Like, you do whatever makes you happy. But I want to be there to help people find their way. Because the one thing that was stopping me, I'm grateful to this individual, and he know who he is, Joel, who gave me that little nudge to do what I need to do. Because the biggest restraint I had was, okay, I could buy all this equipment. It's not like I know how to use it. Right? I need a sound producer, sound technician, audio technician. And the universe introduced me to be like, hey, have you met Joel? And then everything just flowed and worked. And, we worked together and we started building the podcast, and he was helping me with the audio. That was my excuse, right? Just like in that book I was telling you. My excuse to not recording is, I don't have the equipment, or it's not a good time right now, or this or that, or blah, 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 right? As soon as you get the inspiration of, hey, I should do this, that's the right time. Now is the right time. Just do it. Just now is the time. If you wait, you'll be like me going, hey, I should have started this 5-6 years ago when I felt inspired to do it, and I would have been wherever I would have been, right? Or if I trusted the universe from the beginning, instead of me going, I know better. I know what I'm doing now that I'm successful. I know what I'm doing. I don't need your help. And then I flopped on my face. My companies would have been so much bigger if I just trusted the still small voice, trusted my gut, trusted the universe, trusted God, and flowed the way it should have flowed since the beginning. It's crazy when I look back on all the stupid mistakes, but it's a learning. I learn the hard way. I realize that, but I am done learning the hard way. I want to be me, go with the flow, find out my calling. I assumed my calling was always like, I'm going to help people and change everybody. I'm going to go around telling people how to, be a businessman. But in order to do that, I have to be a businessman because no one will listen to me. And I'll tell you one thing, okay? I know I talked about it recently. I talked about it before in one of my podcasts. But this is episode number 52, I believe, out of the last two years, year and a bit. We're at 52 episodes I recorded. There's 50 on, and I got 2 more to upload. I digress. But before, I don't know. You never think you're successful. You never think you achieve, okay? But I was doing good. I was 22, 23 at the time. Doing decent in my company. Could be a lot better, but doing good, whatever. And I was talking to these guys, and they were like, hey, give me advice. And one of the guys was like, yeah, I know what you do. I see, but that was the time in my life where I was like, I always needed a real job, because I wasn't dedicated 100% to my company. I would work my company, be all motivated, and then I'd get scared and go, I need a real job. I need security, because it's hard, right? As a business owner, if it's not working and it's not making you money, you're losing money, right? And here's another stigma. I'm not good with that kind of words. I'm not good with big words because I believe the teachers that told me I was stupid. But I digress. But another thing is I would always say if I'm as a business owner, if I don't work, I don't make money. Well, that's small business owners. Okay. I realize now that I'm transferring into the big business owners where I need to be running my company, and I could hire people. I just got to hire the right people and trust the universe and the energy, and that the business will be even bigger than me. And that is when you achieve. And even now, I'm like, I'm not that big yet. I need more. I'm sorry. I'm going crazy. But yeah, if I just got over myself and shut up and listened to myself and give up control and just went with the flow, I could see where I would be. I'm lucky that way where I have a photographic memory, and when I think of things or if people say things, like I could visualize it all. Like I could literally see the path I would have ended up if I listened 100% instead of learning the hard way. So that's why I'm doing this podcast, is because I want to help people that have a business idea and they're a little nervous, a little scared. And I could talk to you and help you and teach you. So if you have questions and you want them answered, email me and I can answer it in a podcast. And it won't cost you nothing. I'm not going to charge you. But if you want to work one-on-one, well, then I'm sorry to say, but I do have to charge because my time is worth money. And yeah, we need to make money to live and survive, at least in this reality. At least at this time in my reality. I'm not at the point where I can tap into unlimited wealth, but I'm working on it. But I digress. Like, yeah, you have ideas, you have things, you want advice on things, send me an email. LifeChangersMike, all one word, lifechangers with an S, Mike, at gmail.com. That's lifechangersmike@gmail.com. And I'll answer it in a podcast. And if it seems really interesting to me, I'll bring you on the show if you want. Doesn't matter where you live. We can do it through Zoom. We can plug you into the system. We can do it on the phone, plug you into the system. And I'll be in the studio, and we'll be talking, and it would feel like you're in the studio with me. Because I just want to give the knowledge I have to help people achieve what they want to achieve. Because back to the story with that one guy who was like, hey, I know who you are, I know what you do, but you always go back to that real job. So you don't seem as successful as this guy does. And then the other guy's like, you must have information. I'm going to talk to you. So he asked me a lot of questions and talked to me. And within 2 years, he wrote me back and he's like, hey, I ended up building this. I bought a house. I got cars, and stuff like that. And he's like, thank you very much for that information that you gave me. And I was like, you need any more? Let me know. And, we still communicate, and he's doing very well for himself. Like, I have the information. So, yes, sometimes people can have the information you need that might not have, the mansions and stuff like that. I'm confident enough to say that I am successful enough that I have no debt. I own everything I have. And some business guys are yelling at the phone right now, no, you need to rent and lease and do all this stuff. Yeah, you do. When you're a big company and you start getting a lot of money, you want expenses. So yes, that's when you want to lease or rent. But everything I have, I'm not, my truck is paid for. Yeah, I'm renting the space, the warehouse space I'm using, but I don't have debt. I could walk away at any time. I literally own everything I have, and my companies are doing very well. And it's sad to say that, in order for me, in other people's eyes, to be like, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing, is for me being successful. And I'm like, people are like, oh, you get to go to Florida for 5 weeks? Whoa, you're lucky. What kind of job do you have that allows you to do that? And this and that. I'm like, oh, I own my company. Oh. Right? So now people are listening to me because they feel, oh, this guy's so successful in my eyes. And I got to be like, you know what? Look back and not being in a pompous way, but yeah, I worked real hard. I went through a lot of failures to get to where I am at. All the information I have is a lot of ups and lows and downs. And yeah, sometimes, I'm just talking about things that I feel like that's changed my life in this week or that month or whatever. But if you really want specific things answered, write me. It could be about business. It could be about law of attraction. I'll make podcasts about it. Because I know the information I have will help you. But, big but, it would only help you. You could read all the self-help books. I could walk you and do all the work for you to help you to be successful and build everything for you. But it all comes down to you. If you do not believe you deserve it, you're not going to do it. As soon as I walk away, you're going to make up excuses to burn it to the ground. You're going to be like, oh, I don't deserve, and either consciously or subconsciously. And I'm going to research more of this book that I'm reading. I'm going to finish it and listen to it. I listen to books like 4 or 5 times before I usually talk about them, but this one was really like, oh, it was amazing with how he described like how we self-sabotage ourselves all the freaking time. And if you have Audible and you want to look it up, again, it's The Courage to Be Disliked. I'll just click on it and I can see who it's by. Yeah, I can't read those names. But it's The Courage to Be Disliked. It's on Audible. And like it says, like the Japanese phenomenon that shows you how to free yourself, change your life, and achieve real happiness. It's really good. I recommend it. If you have like Audible where you're paying the $15 a month for it, and you have extra credits, it's a good book to listen to. It's a good listen or a good read if you read. But it's I'm not done it yet, but it's amazing because it really teaches you that you are in control. And it talks about it in like scientific way and philosophy way. And if you're that type of person that really likes science and philosophy, that's the book for you. It'll teach you everything I'm talking about. But it doesn't matter what books you read, how many people help you. I could give you $1 million today and help you to achieve your goal and tell you exactly how to use it. But it all comes down to you. If you don't feel that you deserve it, if you don't feel like, oh, I could do it without him, right? I can't do it without you, Mike. I need you here to do everything for me. Well, no, it's not how it works. When people go on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den or any of those shows and get those financing, yeah, they have coaches. They work together because now they're partners and they help each other out, but like a little bit here and there. But they have to be motivated to do the work. They're not going to invest in a company if you're just like, yeah, here's my idea. It's amazing. Even if it's the best. I see this so many times where it's like amazing, the best things I could ever like be like, that's a great idea. But you are in your way. and I don't mean it in a bad way. I see it for me in my company. I'm in my way. I have to let it flow. I have to let it run properly and hire the right people. I have to get out of my way. I have to. You have to. If you want to achieve everything you want, you have to forget everything you were taught and get out of your way. Read that book, okay? Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. It's a starter book. After that, you can look into the other ones that I talk about a lot, like the Surrender Experiment or the Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer and books like that. But read the book, but don't only read it, do it. Change your life. You're not going to change your life if you keep your old programming. You're not going to fix your computer virus if you keep the programming the same. It's going to reoccur and reoccur and reoccur. You have to change the programming, right? If you're going to play the same level of a game, a lot of people play games, right? If you're going to play the same level of a game and do the exact same thing over and over and over and expect a different result, well, I'm sorry. That's the definition of insanity. Is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. You're going to get the same result over and over and over. I see it so many times in my life, in people's lives I love and are dear to my heart, and I know everybody does it. All these people that you see that are really successful, it's not that they are lucky. It's not that they are, they got help from rich parents or they got help from, Shark Tank or they got help because of this and that. No. They could get all the help they want. They'll still be flat on their face if they do not get out of their way and just go with the flow and trust and roll with the punches as it comes in owning a company or in life in general. Things go crazy and just trust. I mentioned many, 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 many times I cannot have predicted what was happening in 2020. I mentioned before, too, that I felt like there was supposed to be a crash in the stock market. So it'd be a good time to invest. So I saved up money. Because I felt like, every so many years, we're supposed to have a dip, like in the stock market, a recession of some sort. And if we don't get it soon, it's going to be a bigger recession later. So we got our recession now, finally. But there's a recession out there in a sense. Like, things are getting expensive. Payments are going up, and it's hard. But I didn't predict how crazy it was going to be, but I just knew that the universe was kind of like, hey, get ready, the stock market. So in 2019, 2018, push. So I started looking at stocks and buying, okay, I know what I'm doing, buying stocks. And then they all crashed. And then they went up and now they crashed. And I literally trade one stock over and over. It goes up and down. Like, even if it goes up and down 5 cents, I buy it. It goes up 5 cents, I sell it. It goes down 5 cents or more, I buy it. It goes up, I sell it. And the more stock you have, and these are penny stocks. And if you're like, tell me what it is, I'm going to do it too. Sure, I can tell you what it is. It's TMD. Titan Medical something. But the thing on the Toronto Stock Exchange is TMD. And if you're using like an American thing, it's TMD.TO for Toronto. And that stock goes up and down, fluctuates a lot, and it goes up to $1 or $2 sometimes. It goes back down, goes up. It's been up. I think the highest it's ever been was $80, and now it's probably hovering about. I guess last I checked on Friday, it's about 19 cents a share. But I mean, it goes up to 25 cents and goes down to 16 cents. Goes up to 25 cents, goes down, and then right there you can make money, buy and sell. But I digress. I could tell you exactly how to make money. I could tell you exactly what to do. But it all comes down to you. Are you going to make excuses and be like, oh, yeah, that guy's just crazy. It works for him because he's special, just like everybody else. I'm not special. Look, you are special. Everybody's special, okay? But you have to make the decision. Are you going to make excuses? Are you going to be like, oh, I can't do it because I'm a slow learner, or I'm diagnosed with this, or I'm self-diagnosed with that because this or that, right? Are you going to leave crutches in there, or are you going to overcome them? Are you going to be the other person? You're going to be the person that as soon as somebody goes, oh, yeah, I think you have this. Oh, and that's your crutch. No, I can't do nothing. Or you're going to be the type of person that's going to get that kick in the ass and motivate yourself. Don't let time pass you by. Don't let this experience go by. This podcast, this information is coming to you for a reason. What is it? It's time for you to find out. Keep on listening to Life Changers. Write into us. If you're going to these different events in Ontario, Canada this year, you'll see me at a bunch of them. One's called Soulshine. One's called, there's the Sideburn that I'm going to soon. And there's a bunch of other ones, but as I know what they are and where they are, I can talk about them, and I'll add links in the bio. Hey, thank you very much for listening to Life Changers. And yes, my name is Mike. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are all awesome. Let's change this world for the better together. Thank you.